Welcome to my tutorial on how to get SimHub Overlays in iRacing VR. I'm using OpenXR mode, which didn't seem like there was a way, or it was more difficult through OpenXR than Steam VR, but I don't use Steam VR, and I don't want to pay for any of the subscription overlays. So what I use is SimHub, which is, there's a free version, but for the full license it's not very much money, and I had already bought it many years ago to run base shakers before iRacing implemented all that. And it runs much smoother. So with free you're capped to 10 FPS, with the paid version 60. You can get up to 60 FPS. And it automatically recognizes iRacing, so you don't have to switch it or make sure it's started. If you just get into the server, it's already there, and you can select the amount you pay. Not too expensive. So this is what I use. There's a couple free overlays out there, like Romaine Rob did a whole pack of stuff, which you can download here. I downloaded it and then I kind of made my own, so I'll put a download to those. The caveat with mine are, because I wanted them off the iRacing or based very similar to the iRacing black boxes, I had downloaded two fonts which you'll need to download. One's Myriad Pro font family and the other's Square 721 BT font. So I'll provide the links, or you can just go to this website and download them right here for free. And I've already done that. But if you're going to install fonts, you just open up Windows, search fonts, and it'll pull up the font system settings, where you just drag and drop them in here. You'll want to have SimHub closed before you do that, just so it can read it when it opens up. But then if you go into SimHub, this will be the first screen you see. So to get to the overlays, I have them downloaded here, but basically you'll get one of these files, or one file like this, when you download it, and you just double click on it and it'll automatically, you can import it into SimHub. Mine are already in there, so I don't have to import it, but it should be pretty smooth. And then to find them in here, you go to the Dash Studio, and it'll come to dashboards first, but you just click over here to overlays, and then I got a bunch in here, but these are the ones, like this one is in the kit. Yeah, so that's how to get them into SimHub. And then you'll also want to then get OpenKneeboard, which is how the overlays get displayed through VR. It was made for like DCS. It works for iRacing. It seems like it would work for any sim. It doesn't seem like it's program dependent. But you just come up here to the top. There's a download link, and then you want to click on this OpenKneeboard MSI file and download that. And then that is what this is. Back all the way up, I guess. So I've already recorded the second half of this, but you'll get like one profile in here, and there's like 4 or 5 tools that you start with, and you can just go in and to the tabs. So if you go to the bottom at settings, you'll have like 6 options here. If you go to tabs, there's like 4 or 5 tools for DCS, which is a flight sim. I just deleted all those, and I'm left with this quick start guide here, which kind of provides instructions on how to use this. But yeah, other than that, you got, if you click on this little guy here, you got profiles, which I've made a bunch already, but you can go in and add more. And I've added, profile for each car because the overlays are slightly different for each car. Once you get used to it, takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to set up. It's not too difficult, and then it's always remembered, so it's easy to just switch your vehicle out. Yeah, I'll cut to a video of kind of walking through how I set these up in the car, and then I'll have a little video of turning a lap or two with the overlays in position. So okay, so now we're in OpenKneeboard and we have the car loaded up we want to use. So in here in OpenKneeboard, you'll have a couple profiles already set up by default. I've cleared all those, and I just have this quick start guide, which is still here. You can switch profiles by clicking on this button. I've already made a bunch. You can delete this quick start guide too. So to create a new profile, we're going to create one for the 87 Monte Carlo. Click on profiles, you go down to edit profiles, which pulls up the list, and you can delete them here. There's no option to rename, so you gotta name it whatever's going to be permanent. Go to create profile, we'll do the 87's Chevy, create, and now from here it'll pop up. Everything you want is going to be in settings, and then tabs where we can get rid of this quick start guide. So we can delete that, and then when we go into SimHub, we're going to be adding a web dashboard for the overlays. So if we click that and then pull up our SimHub, make this smaller so you can see it. So here, this is SimHub. So your dashboard is going to be under Dash Studio Overlays. And I got a bunch in here, but we'll just add the car and fuel overlay. So you want to click on more and then copy OBS browser address to clipboard. And then we go back into OpenKneeboard and you paste that address here, and you can add it and it'll pop up. And to rename it, you want to right click on the left hand side and rename tab, and it should update here. It doesn't always, and if you want to add another, you can just keep adding them. I'll add 2 or 3 here just so you can see. Take this one and copy the browser address to clipboard. Go back into OpenKneeboard, the web dashboard, paste that, and then rename it. And if you have multiple, you want to rename them anyway, so you know what you're clicking on. We'll add a third just to show you it's no different. Where's the one? This one. Standings. So we'll copy that. Add a new tab. Web dashboard. Paste the address. and we'll rename it standings. Okay, so we have our 3 overlays we want to use in the profile for the 87 Chevy. And we go back to settings, and you want to go now into input, because we want to set a button to recenter the VR, because that's going to give us our home location, if you will, for where the overlays are going to be based off. So I'll go recenter my VR. I'm going to bind that to the same button I used to recenter my headset in iRacing. And then from here we can back out of that. We'll go into virtual reality. I'm using OpenXR, so I'm going to turn off Steam VR. In here we can add more overlays. We'll start with just one. So we'll set up the relative. I like to just turn off, there's a menu in game, or a header and footer, I guess, which is essentially like the top of your, where you see your minimize, maximize and exit icons from Windows. That gets displayed if that's on, and then zoom when looking at kneeboard. I guess I can show you what that is. I turn it off. And then before you can play with the settings for the distance, you have to recenter. So I'll just hop into iRacing and just basically I'll pull my headset over where I'm comfortable, and then I'll recenter my position, which I don't know, you probably see that. So recenter, looking straight ahead. So that's going to give me my home position. Right now you can just see the iRacing black boxes are displayed. Let me turn those off real quick. Pull kneeboard back up. Here we go. Okay. So now that we've set our center, we now have all these options. And if you look, we can see by default OpenKneeboard pulls in the overlays down in your lap, basically. So if we set this, we're going to pull this up. I usually go around 0.2 meters to start, and then your forward position, we want to push it away from us. I'd like to put it on like the firewall or the dash above the firewall. So I push it out around 0.7 meters. There's a pitch. If I can kind of hold it steady, we can roll this forward or side to side, or like the steering wheel, roll it. Usually I just leave that at 0. Yaw, I tend to leave that at 0 to kind of just match up with the dashboard. And then the pitch I set based on like the forward lean angle of the dash. So I'll pull this back over my head, kind of see where I'm at, and I like to like lean side to side a little bit to kind of gauge my distance. I feel like it's got to go way forward, away from me, and I want to move it left and right. So we'll click this and slide it off to the side. And that's our fuel pressure gauge. I don't really need to see that, so I'm going to pull the box back towards me a little bit, and we can make it go down. And I'm having to do this while looking at my monitor and have my headset over my head, or held in my hand. So that's about, I think, where I want it. If I go up, that's pretty good, I think, right there. And it looks like, to my perspective, it looks like it's right on the dash. It's not moving when I move side to side. If I move it away from me more, you can kind of see it move. It looks like it's kind of behind the dash. I think 0.19 or 0.91 is where it was pretty good. Not really moving. So once we have that, I can show you the zoom. So right now, when you look at it, nothing happens. But if you hit zoom and you're looking straight ahead, you won't. It doesn't. It's the same size. But if you look at it, of course, it's not going to do it now. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, you can see it gets bigger, but as you look away, it goes back to normal. I like to turn it off, but and then if you're adding another overlay, you just come back up here and hit the new tab, and you want it to act independent. Click add, and then we want it in overlay mode. Oh, and here, yeah, we already set, so I went back to the first one. This first one we set to relative, so the second one I'm going to set to the fuel. And you have to recenter each time, which is kind of annoying. Sometimes I just go through and add all of them out, and then you only have to recenter the once. But if we put the headset back on, look straight ahead, recenter, you might have to play with the position. The position might not be exact, but you can see, we got our new overlay down. So we'll pull this back up, 0.2 meters. The forward distance doesn't usually change, the 0.91 from the first overlay. And I kind of want this one, I don't know, maybe beside or underneath. So we'll go move it right and move it down. Whoops, that's up. Move it a little bit to the right. Now, that one we have to pull back towards us because the bottom of the dash is closer. So, yeah, 0.9 seems about right. And then that's 63 degrees, where the first one we had was 70. 70 seems like the better number, so we'll move this to 70. That looks pretty good. Okay. We got the zoom off. This is what the header bars look like. I mean, it's pretty small, so you can't see it, but it's got a gray bar top and bottom. But if you turn that off, you don't see that. And then we'll add the last one, which is another independent overlay. This one will add standings. We're going to recenter again. Again, if you go through and add these all the first time, you only have to recenter the one time. But so we'll recenter, and they always stay in that position, which is nice. This one again, we'll pull this up. This won't have much information we're seeing because I'm in a test session. 0.9. Oops, 0.9. Put this at 70. Turn that to 0. And up here, the size, we can change how wide it is, or the height. It depends. I haven't been able to get it to work with the width, but if we change the height, it's going to get a little bigger so you can see it. And I'm going to move this. I'm going to put this off way over. I don't really need to see the standings, only when I'm out of the car or sitting in the pit road or under caution. I gotta go down. we'll go more right. Now this is gonna cover, like if we go down, it's eventually gonna, once the list gets long enough, it's gonna go over that roll bar. It's gonna display in front of it, which, you know, it's gonna display in front of everything because it's rendering first. But we could push it, you know, we could push it way out if we wanted to. Can't really read it. I think I'm just gonna leave it right there. So that's kind of that. And then after you're done, you know, you can just leave this, and then you essentially just run it every time you're in iRacing, and it all comes back up. And you know, each car is different, so once you do this a couple times, it takes maybe 5-10 minutes to set up a car. I drive pretty much everything, so I've got a few in here already. But yeah, that's OpenKneeboard and overlays through iRacing with SimHub.